Welcome back to smarthelping.com. It's Saturday, 10 a.m. I've got some time here while I'm waiting for some job work to come through, so I'm going to explain to you guys the coolest and latest thing I found in Excel that's really going to help with mapping and categorizing fuzzy lookup or data that's not matching exactly and trying to put it into order. So the first thing you have to do is you're going to have to get the add-on. There's no other way to do it, and it's called Fuzzy Lookup. It's by Microsoft. You can just Google it. Just Google, Excel Fuzzy Lookup add-in. You got to add that into Excel. So once you've got it, and you can see I've got it here, then you can start doing this. Now, what's the use case? Well, let's say you've got a list of things, responses that are not really exact. There's some, it's just not clean. And you want to take these responses and based on what's in this list, you want to match it with what's in the keyword list and then return whatever matches close to here, return the corresponding cell. Now, normally, if you were going to do this, you'd just use a VLOOKUP and you'd go, VLOOKUP, this value within this array, and you go to false, and it'd search in the keywords, find the match, and go here. Now, if we put false here, it's only going to return exact matches, which I don't think we have any of. Let's see. Only one is cold. So that's what a normal VLOOKUP would get you in this situation. Now you could also remove the false, and then I think this will go in order. And so it matches some of it. You see drink here, but it can't match the cold with the spaces. It doesn't match colder with anything. This doesn't get matched with anything. It actually does not match cold now, even though it's an exact match, and that's because, let's see, sunny. Yeah, it's just not doing a good job at all. So that's basically useless. You could use a lookup. And I think this would get you nothing. You could also try to do a lookup with, let's see here, if we do parentheses around that, ampersand, then another and then parentheses around that. Then it will look up if this word is in the string, and then return. Now that kind of gets useful, not in this situation, but let's say we had let's say colder and warmer. And we just have colder here. Now it should be able to look up colder and return something. Let's see, does that work? No. Let's see. Stand by 1 second. Okay, I changed a couple words around, but you could see you could also do a lookup if you want to look up a certain text string within a text string. So let's say we want to look up hot. We've got hot wings to go, so it's looking up if this text string is anywhere in any of these keywords, and if it is, it's returning, happy. So here we got, hot, happy, cold, cold, because that was the exact match, and then we got water bottle, drink. You can see water bottle here. We've got a text string, but it's looking up if water bottle is contained in here, and then returning here. That's okay, but again, you still got all these NAs, even though there's some kind of close matches. So the ultimate answer to this, if you're looking at unstructured data that doesn't have, what the heck? Come on now. I'm still recording? Yeah. So ideally, this is the lookup response. You can't really use VLOOKUPs or any kind of lookups when you have these matches that are they're not exact, and they're called fuzzy matches, and that's why there's a fuzzy lookup. So all we're gonna do is, number one, download fuzzy lookup add-on. Number two, make these into tables. So we're just gonna highlight. If you have like hundreds of, thousands of rows, you can click in the top and hit, Control Shift down. It highlights everything. Then you just go ahead and hit Control L. It makes it into a table. My table has headers, sure. You can put the table as whatever, response. Doesn't matter. And then here, your lookup table. So this is where you have your keywords that are gonna be looked up against what's in here, and then in return give you the value that matches on this side of it. So here again, Control Shift down, Control L, and then another table, and we'll put this table name as, L2. Oh, hold on, that doesn't match. L2 table. Okay, so now that we've got everything defined, we can go ahead and just make a new tab. We'll call this match. Just click into cell A1, go to fuzzy lookup, and then here's how we structure it. So we've got our matches here. So we want to say, what is our left table? So the left table is what it's looking up, it would be our responses in this case. So we named that response, so that's good. That's in the first. L2 table's the right table, which is what we're going to be returning. And we want to say we want to go responses, and then based on responses, we want to look up keywords. So column A, which we've got that title keywords, so we'll click keywords here, and then we'll hit this button in the middle, and now it should be going. And then what's our output column? So output column is what it's going to return, which we want to be categories. So we're just going to go L2 table and net categories. Now the next thing we want to do, and we're only going to do number matches 1, the similarity threshold. So if it doesn't match to a certain percentage, it's going to return nothing. Now if you put that at 100, well, that's an exact match. You might as well use a VLOOKUP or something. But if we go down to, say, 20, even less, let's go to 0.1, it's going to basically match everything, and it'll show you the match similarities. So once you've got that set, you simply hit go. And oops, shoot, I didn't want to do that. I was on the wrong. Shoot, I wanted to go here. I accidentally overwrit my categories, and I can't undo that. Okay, hold on a second. Let's clear this. I'll remap this. Hold on one second. Okay, so I remapped some of these words. The idea is I'm trying to show you that how this kind of works and see what kind of benefits you get with this over VLOOKUP. So let's go back. Now we're in the right page. We'll do our lookup. So we want to look up responses. Yep, that's right. We're looking up keywords. Okay, 10%. Okay, all looks good. So let's hit go. I forgot to hit this middle button. So now let's try to hit go. What is it saying? Exception from H result. Okay, I've never seen that. Let's try to do this one more time. Keywords. Let's restart it. Fuzzy lookup. Responses. Oh. That's what happened if you don't make a table first. Let's make this into a table. We'll just do table 4, that's fine. So now we go into our VLOOKUP. Now we click table 4. Keywords. And then we want category returned 10%. Okay, so you can see it didn't match everything. It did not, but we've still got some here. So if we go ahead and we equals our category list, or I mean our initial list, we can see what was matched to what. So nothing was matched to hot. That makes sense. There's not really anything here that you could possibly match to hot. I love evenings. Sunny didn't match. Now I thought sunny might match to sun, but it did not at 10% threshold. Cold obviously matched to cold. That's an exact match. Now dark and cold went to cold 83%. Where else could dark and cold have been? Well, that would be it. So there's that. Warm and sunny did not match. I hate snow. Computer electronics. Now this is a good one. Here's exactly what I'm trying to show. Okay, so it was an 85% match to technical. Now computer electronics, I don't really have it in my lookup anywhere. I have compute, BA, ICE. So what it's doing is it's trying to look through and match the best thing here that matches the given response, and then return our category. So compute. So the response was computer electronics. We have compute here, and anything with compute equals technical. So this is something where no VLOOKUP or anything could ever give you this. It's only something you can get with fuzzy lookup. So you got technical here as your response for computer electronics. That right there is what can save you insane amounts of time if you have, say, a 10,000 list of responses that's not clean, and you need to look up and kind of map it and categorize it. I mean, there's so many uses for this. I am cold. ED matched to cold with an 82%. Words. Now here's where we get down to, go at 44%. So words, and it matched with match this. Now let's see why that was a match. So what do we have here? So match this in 11. Oh, because this. So this word, so it matched to words. Okay, that makes sense. Now here is also an interesting thing. It was able to match all these different types of cold. So I put colder, colder.1, cold, COL space D, C dot OLD, C space OLD. So with all that variation, it was still, it was only 27% sure here, but it still matched it to the right one. 97% on all the rest of these. So this is where, again, you would get an error if you used VLOOKUP. As you can see here, if I tried to do equals VLOOKUP, if I try to look up this in here, you can see, look at this. I get, a couple. I get cold and cold. That's only one. With fuzzy, look at it. I get this many. So it's much more efficient. If I tried to use the more advanced lookup, just looking up a string within a text string, we get, let's see, I don't think it'd be much different. Probably not. Nope, didn't even give us one extra. So there's literally no way you would get this accurate of a result without using anything besides the fuzzy lookup add-in. Uh, let's see, what else did we match? Drink, bottle with ice. Let's see, we had bottle with drink, so that makes sense. It matched the bottle term. Now this is another thing. One of the most frustrating things is if you want to match a text string with one word with another text string that has the words. So bottle with ice, we matched to drink in an 84% match. So it picked the right one, even though it could have went to ice, it could have went to thirsty. It chose the bottle, the drink one. And so I mean that's it probably picked the word that was first in the string, so it gave the priority to bottle instead of ice. But that's why the match was only 84%. And then we got cold bottle at 90%. So what was our list? Cold bottle, and it matched it to cold. So great. Now you can see if we change these to text strings as well, cold and dark, sun and hot, bottle and temperature. Oh, this is one I wanted to try to get. If, let's say, testing ed for this. I wanted to show if you have something that's an abbreviation or you have something in the list that only has two letters and you want that to return whatever it stands for, but you got text around it. So for example, ed here. Now let's see our map. We still have this in there. We wanted basically testing ed and nothing. So that should give us a better, we should be able to look for ed and it should return education there. So I've changed some of the keywords here. Let's see how that changes our match. So we go look up again, fuzzy lookup. Same deal here, responses keywords. We want to return the category column and do 10%. Actually, let's go all the way down to 0. Okay. Now, look at that. We got education to come through. That's what I was hoping. So, if we look at our list to remap it back to what the original source was, you can see it was able to match ed with education at 83%. Now this is the main one. This is another main thing that I wanted to show that's so helpful. You got ed here, testing ed and nothing. You want it to return, you match it to ed and then return education. It was able to do that. You cannot do that with any other function in Excel. It's impossible. Words, everything else is pretty much the same. Warm and sunny. Hot went to happy. That was a nice one. You could see it caught hot in there and it matched it to within this string. Sun and hot. So I mean, it's going to depend on how your keywords look compared to your category. But if you can get a nice keyword string that covers everything in a unique way, easily you can do. Maybe you might have a list of 100 keywords, and that can map you, 10,000 data points where you have just random data of all kinds, and you need it to be categorized within like 100 categories. You might be able to do that with 100 keywords or less if you're doing your categories in keywords with the fuzzy lookup. And obviously the benefit of this is you don't have to manually go through and categorize everything where it's not clean, but it's clean enough to where there is some work that can be saved by doing this fuzzy lookup. And the whole thing is, all it's doing is it's taking the best match between, you know, your keyword list and your what you're looking up list. It's just looking at that, and giving you the best fit into here. And this is the only way I know how to do it to where it's not too rigid. Okay, well, I guess that's all I got for today. That's a fuzzy lookup. Now I am available for hire. My standard rate is $40 an hour. It is subject to change, but you know, I don't see it changing much in the next year or so. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you need me to do any work in Excel, data analytics, I do all kinds of things. This is just one little sample of the things that I'm, you know, adept at, and I'll give you a link in the description box below, just to my blog, where you can see all my Excel modeling and financial modeling and analytics and just general skill set. All right, have a great Saturday, and it looks like it's warming up, so if my work doesn't come through soon, I'm probably going to go outside for a bit, and we'll see you guys next week.